And they told everybody, and they told, Chime told everybody after the election was canceled, every person working for the government must go to their village and their hometown. If you can't deliver your hometown, don't come back. I'm not from Obinaga, I'm from Amoko, but a friend of mine is from Obinaga, so I went to Obinaga. In order for them trying to capture 100% of the votes, what they did, they grabbed anybody, regardless of where you came from, including the security people that were there, to vote for Chime. They wanted 100%. Unfortunately, they told me I had to vote. I told them I don't belong here, I don't live here. They said, no, I want you to vote. I said, okay. I voted for a different person, not for Chime, not for PDP. So they were upset. Who was the person? So I started laughing. I say, yeah, because you guys were doing the wrong thing. Election is where you really cast your vote for the right person. You can't force people that are not, don't have, then it wasn't PVCs, don't have their cards to vote. Here in US, you get your card, you vote. And I'm hoping that we here, because one thing I realize, even here in the United States, I'm talking about us now, is that we don't understand or we don't even know the amount of power that we wield. We can help change our place if we really want to do that. If we are not selfish, if we are selfless and really care about our people and care about our family members back home, then we here, with the amount of money we send to Nigeria every day, we can decide to change the place. A single letter from any organization here, and we follow through, we'll get some of our governors to do what they're supposed to do. But the problem is that most of us here, instead of doing what we're supposed to do, we are very selfish. We are looking for land, we are looking for houses, we are looking for handouts, we are looking for someone to bribe us and things like that. And that's why I said, until we tell ourselves the truth, after we tell ourselves the truth, then we will be able to say, okay, this is what's going on that's wrong in Nigeria, and we'll be able to fix our place. We tend to blame the federal government, but then we forget that the state governments always get their quota. I know Professor, they may correct me on this one. Every state gets their quota. And my question becomes, what did they do? What the governors do the quota? Why are they collecting or going to get loans that someone else may not be able to pay? What happens to the IGR? Why is it that they're not being used very well? But it's up to us here to decide, okay, what kind of government we want in our place. And then we educate our people on how to make it work. And educate them on what they should expect from the government and what the government should expect from them. So if we're really serious about doing this and helping our people, we have to really tell ourselves the truth. And if we're able to do that, and we're very selfless, we'll be able to help our place and be able to help our people, and at the same time, help ourselves. All right, that's all I have to say at the moment. Thank you guys for listening.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief Chris. Thank you so much. I have another invited co-host, Honorable Chijioke Mboli. Honorable Chijioke, let's hear from you. Unmute yourself. I think you're muted. Okay.
Yeah,
you're welcome, Chijioke.
Yeah, my brother now. I'm not him. Can be muted.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'm going that now. Here in the Nefa, we cannot manage Nigerian politics. Where we're gonna amount to hear them in the US. Because Nigeria is not a place where people are qualified to be to, to hold any office. Na pụta wee context ya. Ndị mmadụ vote elu nya. I hope mmasụkwa Igbo ma na ọ dị asụcha ogologo oyibo a wesị ebe onye ọbụla na-ahapụ ya ọ dịka na sị na n'ihe akpala ọ bụghịzi ihe a na-ekwuzi. Ihe mụnwa na-ekwu n'ihe a bụ na ọ dị necessary that na ya bụrụ nweleta ga-esi wee na-eme invite people actually contest for any office na Nigeria. Can we kind of, discussion, may ha interrogate, maluma hadekwa mahamakaliba ha nejije me, not just no amataputa, because so many, the problem we have in Enugu state today, especially among the people now for governorship, but that a lot of them are not prepared to be governor. All of a sudden, somebody that prepared. Say bloom, governor. Before you know what the people are doing, after 4-8 years, there will be no any person on ground in Enugu state. And if you look at Enugu state is a capital of the southeast, and Bugolu the capital of Old Anambra state. And by being that the capital of Old southeast and Anambra state, Enugu state will go development already more than other states in the southeast. But instead of building on that, since 1999, Enugu state now not backward. People, the government since 1999, they are not building on those, on those things. Both Monday, the people of the southeastern region government in hand put on place, because when you look at, for example, the Enugu airport was the first among every other airports within the southeast. But up to now, there is nothing to, argue to where to look at the improvement now that airport. And the government, since 1999, they are not doing anything. So I think it will necessary that now I get Bidokita very serious with the people and they to contest for governorship in Enugu state. Because if we keep allowing these people, they continue doing what they are doing, with the time, Enugu state will, in fact, every state within the southeast will overtake Enugu state. Because when you look at, for example, when you look at when we talk about this country, US, you look at the county, you will notice that where you live, it is the county that is responsible for providing water, electricity. In fact, everything you are using within the city where you live. But in Nigeria, you look at local government, there's nothing local government can afford on its own. They are depending on governors who collect a state, federal allocation and decide to give those local government chairmen peanut out of it. There's no local government you will go to in Nigeria that you will see a project of 20 million naira. After the whole 2 years of that local government chairman's tenure. And by local government record, no local government within Enugu state received less than 100 million naira in a month as an allocation. By estimate, you will notice that in a year, each local government will receive not less than 1.2 billion naira as an allocation. But where is the money? There is nothing state government is doing to help the local government in order to develop. Because if local governments, begin to develop, you will notice that state itself will develop. Even ordinary clinic, ordinary health, health center, you cannot even see in any local government. And every year, every 4 years, we're electing people who come to say that they are governors and everything. All they do is to focus on, grabbing money for themselves and leaving the state to remain, as something that people will look at and say, as if that now, so I think it will be necessary to start looking into this thing so that we will have we will find a way to motivate and make sure that those people that we are not giving them the opportunity to, to put to state in a condition where every person will come in and will not be satisfied with what is going on. So I am willing to add it there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I was just talking. Honorable Chuck, thank you so much. Thank you. And this is why we have this platform, so that we open that dialogue between the candidates and the people. Even though some of us may not vote, but we're able to influence people in Nigeria that will vote. And when we listen to the candidates, we can know what they say they will do. We ask them questions, they will explain more. Then we can hold them accountable, just like Americans held former President Bush accountable for raising taxes when he said he will not. So this is developing democracy, deepening democracy, and having better understanding, the voters having better understanding, and also improving our candidates. You can't really give what you don't have. So by interacting with people, you will be able to sharpen your plan and you'll be better. Okay, let me call on one other invited co-host, Dr. Moene Ebeda. Ebeda, because let's learn from your experience in democracy in the United States, and hopefully we can be able to package it for Nigerians. Okay. Dr. Moore, mute yourself. I did? I asked. She has to do it. Is it there? I don't know if Dr. Moore is there. Moore. At Moore. All right, let's move forward. Let me call on the coordinator of Nigerian American Democracy Institute in Nigeria, Engineer Emeka Oloka. Engineer Emeka Oloka, say something to us. Tell us what is happening in Nigeria, if there is any hope. Emeka, are you there? Unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Good
Let's
evening.
hear from
Good
you.
evening,
Thank
Prof.
you for coming.
Good evening,
Go
Prof.
ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's a nice initiative by the Nigerian American Democracy Institute. Yes. So the momentum is gradually building in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, campaigns have started in earnest. So we are looking out for issue-based campaigns from all political parties, especially from their candidates. So it is expected that those candidates will maintain the engagements across boards, from the north to the east to the west, then to the south. So continue to engage citizens and then make them see the need to participate to vote for a new Nigeria. So that is it.
All right.
So with the signing of the peace accord recently, we expect that the candidates of the foremost political parties will comport themselves in the best way possible. So we anticipate, we the citizens anticipate that they will live up to what they signed and then ensure that they maintain issue-based campaigns. So that is it. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Okay, let me go to a few people raised their hand. Delechukwu, oh, can you unmute yourself and talk to us? Delechukwu. All right, let's go down. Are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, my big brother Ekene, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm talking from Lekki, Lagos. So good afternoon to the people at the backside of the world. We're in front, so fortunately. Enwe ndị be anyị na-ekwu that na okolo erughị eru wara ọgọdọ. Ikuku bi ovuri evuru ma ọgọdọ ya. And I think one of the things that have kept us extremely backward, but the poor voter education system. People do not know the value of their votes. And in Ekwanya, the uneducated are more in number. Their percentage or ratio should be about 70 or 80 to 20%. With all the years of Anija, when the Jera buying, the worse than in the Nigeria at all. Then Ibiakwa Eba gonna get 100 people. I recall when we were kids, you know, Abiakwa show rice, Tiana 3. Vusel there. I get Enugu bata. Then no market in a village got more in number. So Adobokwa they have rice. These guys have an automated cooler in their mouth. The speed had you read this rice. I want Enugu bata teaspoon na 8 tons stew. Go mix here with the rice. So Emechashi Umaka Unerichego yes. And you get this one, Mark, you get more opportunity. Your mom that you know, because Umaka on a village, I must go Keshi Jilaka, Erini Dioku. I want Mutagi you could go now for a spoon before joy. What am I driving at? Ihe Janyabu Nanye will matter. Obu that Nanye will ideas. Obu that we don't have the capital assets, the human capital assets, to turn around our fortunes. But it's like we've neglected the basic foundation that drives democracy, which is awareness. Awareness. I know, Mezilani, these few that often leverage on public resources, you know, developed this messianic approach. You know, Habiakwa, they want to control your life. The civil service in Enugu is like a one-man shop. So many times you end up spending more money than what you came to do because the people, they look more miserable and more hungry. So they weaponize go poverty. So in voting for somebody, people are that they are preparing their future. They see it that it's an opportunity to get some little something. So it's a big issue. And among the best candidates I get with it, that can be voted on the merit of his credentials rather than Iho Wiftel. I mean, Sonin, you know what I'm talking about because you are one of the people who spend your money on people, you know. So, a problem. Now, what I want to think we should also, apart from talking to the political gladiators, is that is there a way we can have a projection, maybe 10, 20, 25 years projection on voter enlightenment, or I don't know what to call it, voter education scheme that drives at giving an understanding, including using our schools. And all states now control ENM, but I'm hoping that now we're governor with vision that wants to see his tenure as a foundation for many better governors. That kind of foundation, so that Eruku election, some of the tension and crisis and conflicts and losses we incur will drastically be minimized, because people know that Mr. Professor Sonny is a better resource manager than Okweon Onubo, or that Dr. Eze is a better hand in the medical or health care system than Mr. B. Even na people get more awareness. But Okwara nke agụ na-aga ndị mmadụ. If Tashi ni Jebego, Ibu member n'ezi agụrụ ha na-agụ egwu agụcha egwu enye ha mmanya nye ha 1,000. They've been defeated. So all a concern to me. And then the second and last thing I'd like to touch is that Okwana Inwe an unbiased approach, which is unfortunate, because in politics you must be partisan. Even non-partisan organizations are made up of partisan members, because most of us were members of one party or the other, or we share some sentiments in favor of one or the other. But Obunaige make it up our mind that in the next election, for instance, let merit carry the day. You know, we have Frank Nweke, we have Edeoga, we have Mr. Mba, and a host of others. And I draw wine, Obunaige $1 million. Among these four people, Kedonyo Gaba Nye and you a good turnover. Ego anya a year dollar and your result. And I channel not just money, but our education in that direction, and convince our people that this is what will happen in the next few years. I'm sure that the quality of our democracy we begin to yield our expected dividends. Kamkushi go to there. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Part of the things I want to show email with this organization, and it's a very, very important aspect of democracy when the voters are educated. And we will continue to work on it, and we are asking more people to join this organization so that we can make it happen. Everything is not just going to contest election and win. There are a lot of democracy advocacy group that does a lot of good things, and that's what we are trying to do by providing this platform. Okay, let me hear from Prof. Owu. You raised your hand for some time. Unmute yourself.
Just that. Thank you very much. And I must once again congratulate the forum, the coordinators, and the various thoughts that came to this process. Moaboyu Titan, Enugu State. And incidentally, for the past 16 years, I can confirm to you that aside from my professional practice, I also render pro bono assistance to all the governments that have ever run Enugu State. Pro bono in the sense that we offer free services, we want to educate them, we want to give them insights on what best governance should be. But surprisingly, to surprise you to note that I got the best reception in a state outside Enugu State, which is my own home state. And we've made considerable inputs, which is working in many other states, even in the northern part of this country. I stay in Abuja, I travel US, all those places, but I end up in Abuja here. Now, and luckily, well, perhaps my own daughter is also resident there in the US. Now, the experience, listening to the various contributions, I felt highly elated, and at least that there is hope for Enugu State. This single effort alone is already half of the job done. And for the first time, we are opting to engage and galvanize thoughts to actually engage whoever says he wants to rule Enugu State. Because before now, the news is not good, terrible, can confirm to you. So without wasting much of our time, I think the approach should evolve from having specific questions on practical issues that are happening there in Enugu. I don't want to talk of Nigeria, I'm talking of Enugu State. Specific issues that have been observed over the years that have refused to go away. So we kept seeing a recycling of, if not godfatherism, a feudal process, even on ground in Enugu State. You see a very horrible trend of land grabbing going on in various areas, land grabbing, violence, serious violence, total disregard of industrialization, employment projects, programs, zero, corruption, education, flat. So we need to develop sectorial questions for each of these candidates so that we can be able to measure it, put a time frame for that, so that when times come for monitoring, we can now monitor, relying on very strong enforcement mechanism. I can confess to you that in Nigeria, even across the states, they have very sound regulatory framework that even after you must have been elected, you can actually be checked. One or two persons can actually check you. Even the 1 million we can donate could be one leg of it. The actual leg being how to enforce compliance to whatever must have been pledged to the people. That will serve. We have a lot of programs, a lot of legal foundation. For instance, let me just cite one law, Section 51 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act in Nigeria gives every citizen, and it's applicable in the states, the opportunity to challenge any matter that is infiltrating on the effective operation of the national budget or state budgets. So once there is an indication of corruption, once there is an indication of misappropriation, you can take the person to the courts. And the good hope we have, the surest hope we have is actually in Enugu State, because a recent study have just shown that Enugu State judiciary is about one of the most independent of government. Despite the fact that most of the judges and all that, but it has shown itself to be one of the most independent of governments, therefore very credible. So we may rely on the courts to enforce some of these things. Time have come for that. So I'm canvassing for serious empirical approach and a good synergy between those that are locals here, those that are in Nigeria, to liaise with those in the US, give you accurate data of what is on ground, so that the decision is not a beggarly situation. We're not going to be begging any governor to please do the right thing. No, it has to be with some level of seriousness and enforcement. So if we can do that, believe you me, by God's grace, Enugu State will now stand on its own, because like you've mentioned, the previous contributors have mentioned, Enugu State have been a beneficiary of colonial down to the other regional investments. Today, they have gone. Those in Anambra, Abia, they are going home. Enugu have been left for us to develop. And we must take that responsibility to make it a safe, prosperous environment for ourselves and our children. The time has come, and we cannot run away from it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. That's very instructive, and hoping we will collaborate between US and Nigeria and go to the solution instead of all talking about the problems. Okay, Dr. Amaka, go ahead. Okay.
All right, thank you. I personally want to thank the last speaker and the speaker before the last, Professor and Mr. Ononuwo. You hit the nail on the head. And what is holding us down in Enugu, and I will zero in Enugu like we're doing, is that voter registration cost and voters' education cost money. To be able to go from word to word and talk to people about what is expected, how to vote, and what to expect, it costs money. I ran a campaign and I noticed one thing. 90% of our voters don't even know what indicators to look out for, to say these are the indicators of good or effective leaders. No one knows what to expect or what to begin to check out, which is why I'm grateful for the Nigerian American Democracy Institute. I'm hoping that we'll zero in on things like that. What are the 1, 2, 3 things we can look at from a leader, either past or present or contesting, that will say these are indicators of effective leadership? It's something we need to put out there, either in flyers, it's something we need to talk about. What is their reputation? Have they been in government before? If they've been in government before, have they done what they said they will do? One of the speakers talked about read my lips, and at the end of the day, his lips was red and he was changing from what he promised. You know, were they able to make any change? Enugu has benefited from colonial development, yes. Enugu was not as bad as it is today, to be honest with you. Enugu saw some light in development between maybe 2001 and 2015. But we need to be able to ask, not just for more, like Oliver Twist. That's the position all our leaders has put us today. We've become Oliver Twist when we're supposed to be the major determinants of who goes there. We need to be able to focus on holding our leaders accountable before they get there. I'm excited about this Zoom meeting. I can't wait for Edeoga to get here. And then for us to talk to him, chat with him, let him commit to what he wants to do for Enugu. And then we will hold him accountable if he eventually wins. The same with all other aspirants. Enough of oh yes members, enough of Ojebego. If the person is not qualified, let us ditch the person from day one. And the thing about diaspora engagement in this is that we need to talk to our people. We need to talk to them about collecting 5,000 naira today and then suffer for the rest of the 4 years with nothing. Collecting 20,000 naira today and then ending up with somebody who would collect not just the state allocation, will also collect the local government allocation, and everything is falling apart. We are better than that. And I'm glad Nigerians are beginning to learn. And I'm glad Enugu is beginning to learn and wake up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amaka. That was a good one. The process has begun, and we are hoping that we will continue to increase the dialogue. You know, leadership is not that complex. Even though they say leadership is art and science, you know, it has no formula. And every leader knows that as you lead, you learn also. And basically, you have to cast a vision. You have to be able to have some mission, have some plan, which are some of those things we want from our candidates. Articulate some strategy on how to achieve those plans, and tell us exactly how you will do that. And if we continue to do this, I think it's even good for the leaders because it will make the leaders better. They'll be more prepared when they step in, as opposed to getting forced into a situation where you're unprepared. You just ride out the system And that is why we don't see much progress. I'm very optimistic that 2003 will throw up some competition within Enugu, and the Enugu people eventually will pick, at least from the 4 promising candidates, somebody that will move Enugu state forward than we had before. So we're waiting for the candidates to join. And I have Dr. Okwi Igwe. Dr. Igwe, we want to hear from you, from your decades of experience in the United States. Dr. Igwe, are you there? You can unmute yourself. I did. It's not responding. Okay. One other thing I want to add while we wait for Dr. Igwe is the prof that Prof. Owo asked for collaboration. Actually, this organization, Nigerian American Democracy Institute, is started in New York, but it covers the 50 states of United States and the 36 states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. We currently have a coordinator in Nigeria, and basically the thrust of what we'll be doing is more of research, trying to find out exactly what is happening and see how we can be able to recommend some changes. Okay, if we are able to meet the requirements, which is a little complex, we plan to participate in observing the election in all the 36 states. And we're starting our basic work from Enugu State. In the past, we had issued an open letter to the governor of Enugu State about the primary election when it was getting a little messy, and eventually it got messy. We warned in advance based on the information we have, and the open letter was widely circulated and they had some impact, although it did not solve the problem. But those are the type of advocacy, activism that we intend to do. And we intend to do it not just from United States, we intend to do it with people on the ground. So that collaboration is part of the goal of this organization. Okay. I'm still waiting for our special guest. Waiting. Okay. All right. I think we'll lock the meeting and we'll unlock it now. So anybody can now come in, but will not be admitted. We only want to admit people we know because of the confusion we had in the past. Jerry is coming in, yeah. We know Jerry. Professor Jerry Chukwu. Okay. Prof. Jerry Chukwu, unmute yourself. Can you hear me? Professor Jerry, if you can hear me, I need you to share your experience with democracy in US. I know you have decades of such. So share your experience with us.
Okay, Doc, I just got in. Well, with regards to, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. With regards to this question, okay.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yes, somebody was speaking. With regards to this question, I feel that us, Nigerians living in this country, most of us appreciate the system of democracy here. And I feel that what is happening in Enugu State is not very satisfactory, because I'm aware that the present person contesting for the governorship of Enugu State was handpicked. That's my understanding from here. And it's a contravention of democracy. Democracy should be a leveled playing field for good or for bad, just as it's done here in the United States. In America, Donald Trump started up with 19 people that were contesting to be president of the United States. He beat all of them down. So regardless of people who liked Trump or didn't like him, I didn't vote for him. I voted for Biden, but I respect him because he openly weeded out his challengers and eventually was elected president of the United States based on the American democracy system, electoral college, though he didn't have all the votes, majority vote Mrs. Clinton had, but electoral college endorsed him. So therefore, I feel that in Enugu State, playing field should also be leveled. People should not be intimidated. People should, corruption, buying votes true or false, all those kind of things should stop. And people who want to run, let's say like all the four parties we are looking at now, APG, APC, PDP, and the Labour Party, they field people, freely, and they will contest. And whoever that wins, whether we like it or we don't like it, that's the principles of democracy. We will support that person and we pray for the person. We try to work with the person. But so that's my view of democracy from the United States. It should be free. It should be non-threatening to any candidate. There should be no buying of delegates, and the people should be free to participate in this system. That's one of the reasons if people love democracy is that it's a system where whether you are poor, you are rich, whoever you are, you can aspire to get to the office you want to go to if you play by the rules. But when a political system becomes, if you have a lot of money, then you buy, then it's not a democracy. We don't want that kind of system where people all over the world are running away from that. So a democracy should be free, it should be fair, people should be qualified, and the people should be vetted. We don't want people with bad characters or bad records going to become governors of our state. In America here, that will not happen either. I could remember, let me just give one example. Maybe I'm speaking too much, I will stop. When Mitt Romney was running for president of this country, they brought up when he and his friends give another student a haircut against his will, long time ago in college. They brought it up and Romney has to answer for it. People quiz him and quiz, that nearly rocked his presidency because he gave somebody a haircut by force with a group, kind of bully. So should be our own too. If EFCC detain you, you have to explain to Enugu people with convincing evidence, not when somebody asked about it. Oh, these are European, all these things. We don't want to hear that. Romney, Americans didn't say, oh, it's a long time ago. He caught somebody's head by force. It came back when he was running for president. So let me stop. There are a lot of people here. Some other people have something to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Chukwu. Thank you so much for taking us back to Romney. Thank you so much. Let us continue. Our special guest is here, and we will do a brief introduction, and he will take the floor. So, Nenna, go ahead and do the introduction. Unmute yourself. Can you do that? You got it? You got it? All right.
He was born into the family of late Mr. Jonathan and Mrs. Jemima Edeoga of Ahamufu in Isuzu local government area on October 2nd, 1964. He holds the Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Nigeria and Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Buckingham, United Kingdom. He also holds a Master of Law from the University of London. He was called to the Nigerian bar. He is also a journalist who worked in various newspaper houses, including Daily Star, The Outlook, The Champion, and the Post Express. He received the Nigeria Union of Journalists Award for excellence in feature writing. His political career and experience started with an appointment as the press secretary by Executive Governor of Enugu State. He was elected chairman of Isuzu local government area of Enugu State. He was also elected to the House of Representatives. He was the chairman, House Committee on Information, and spokesperson for the House. He was an advisor on legislative matters to the former Deputy President of State. He was appointed as the Special Assistant to former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan on National Assembly matters. He was appointed the Commissioner of Local Government Matters in Enugu State from 2015 to 2019. He then was reappointed as the Commissioner of Environment in Enugu State from 2019 to 2022. He is currently the Enugu State Labour Party governorship candidate for the 2023 election. His colleague in journalism described him as a great lion, a brilliant scholar, an astute politician, an accomplished barrister, a reputable journalist, and a gentleman. Maintains the soft-spoken, suave, and urbane disposition of a philosopher. He possesses the intellectual inclination, sobriety, and decorum that tends to soften the rough edges of politics. On behalf of the Nigerian American Democracy Institute and its subsidiary, Nigerian American Political Forum, we welcome Honorable Barrister Chijioke Jonathan Edeoga into our Diaspora Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Nena. Thank you. Welcome, Honorable Chijioke Edeoga. You're welcome, and you are free to take the floor and speak to us. Unmute yourself, sir. Good.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Good evening.
We can hear him.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Nena, today for.
We can't hear you.
I mean others, but I can hear him.
You can hear?
I can hear him.
You can hear him?
Okay.
Why can't I?
Thank you. Professor, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, I can hear you.
Thank you, Nena, today for a beautiful background, a bio profile, a little profile, a brief profile of who I am. Thank you, Professor Sonny Ude and Emeka Ojibe and Chris Ago and the other organizers of this interface with our diaspora community. My name is Chijioke Edeoga. I'm the current, I'm the Guba candidate for Labour Party in Enugu State. And as you heard, former commissioner, X this, X that, but that's not the point now. We're in the race. We're in the race against 2023 to decide who becomes the governor of Enugu State and decide the fate of millions of people who are in Enugu or who are outside Enugu within Nigeria and in diaspora who are connected directly or vicariously to happenings in Enugu or to situations in Enugu or to the potentials of Enugu or to Enugu's prospects. So I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm privileged to be with you. And I'm also happy to tell you that my dreams for our state are dreams for good, for development, for progress, for peace, and for prosperity. And I have the requisite background, the training, and the determination, and the relevant values to bring a substantial and significant positive development to Enugu State. So I will stop so far and expect that you ask your questions, if there are questions, provide advices, if there are advices, because very soon I'll hit the campaign, I'll move into the campaign field from word to word, up to the point where my physical strength and mental stamina can carry me before the election. Marketing my ideas and canvassing for votes. So the suggestions from you, advices from you, basically from your experience there in diaspora, the expectations of what we should bring on the table will also impact the policies that I will enunciate in the course of my campaign. And hopefully when I become governor, what we hear today and what we hear subsequently from you should also guide me in deciding what happens to our state. And I also hope that you walk the talk. You come in to help when I win. In the course of my campaign before I win, you also support in different and various ways. Thank you for now, while I wait to hear from you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Edeoga. Thank you so much. I understand, I was told that the Go Back campaign has not started legally. So we are not expecting you to start campaign, but we have a lot of questions for you. And the rules we have here is by Zoom. People raise their hand and we pick, they go according to the way they raise their hand, they will ask questions. The questions they will ask, we don't know about it, is totally up to that person.
Problem.
There is no vetting, nothing.
I'm ready.
You know, we have a playing field.
Ready,
so
ready and willing.
Yes, I'm going straight to Chief Chris. Chris, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Ready and willing.
Good. Chris, you got the floor.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Edeoga. Thank you for coming to our forum this evening. My name is Chris Ago. I've been in this country, United States, for 40-something years, and I always visit Nigeria. And from your profile, to me, it seems like you've been in the federal government and state government. You're educated in Europe. So I believe you have a lot of experience with you. But my question to you is just simple. This governor that's leaving Enugu State, to me, I'll give him an F. But to you, I'm asking you, sir, can you tell us 3 things that you believe the governor should have done to elevate Enugu people? That when you become governor, that you will take care of as you get in and start running. I don't know if you have my question, sir.
I heard you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, I heard you. Do I answer or do I expect more questions?
Okay, let's do 3, then you answer. We'll do 3 questions, then you answer. So let me go back to the list. We have number 1 question. Engineer Emeka Oloka, the coordinator of Nigerian American Democracy Institute in Nigeria. You have question for our special guest. Go ahead, Emeka. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Good evening to our special guest, Barrister Chijioke Edeoga. Yes, my question is, what is it you're bringing differently to the table to uplift the lives of Enugu indigenes, of Ndi Enugu? That's my question.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Emeka. The next one in line, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Amaka Odo. Unmute yourself and unmute yourself. You got it? Oh, okay,
Yes.
good. You have the floor.
From Honorable Edeoga, I congratulate you for winning the governorship ticket for Labour Party. My question is simple. I've been with government, and I know that for 25 years, you've also been involved with government and the things that is happening in Enugu and Nigeria. Specifically, let me just go to your last role, which is Commissioner for Environment in Enugu. My question is, sir, I went to Enugu during my campaign a few months ago and stayed quite some time. And the Enugu that we had, that I saw 2015, 18, and then it's not the same environment that we're seeing. And I asked that question specifically. What's going on? I know the investment that the former administration made into making sure that Enugu became the cleanest city so far in Nigeria. And so many other awards that Enugu got because of that. Sir, my question is, what is it that stops us from sustaining the clean environment we have in it? I know there are so many other things that go in the Ministry of Environment, and the IGR2 dropped drastically. Is it because we're not collecting revenues, or we were under-reporting from the period you started as Commissioner for Environment? I know 4 years, less than 4 years is not enough to do magic, but enough to make an impact. If you can help us with that question, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we have 3 questions now. So
Yes.
if you address the 3 questions, then we'll go for the next 3.
Okay, can you hear me? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Let me start from the last. Commissioner for Environment, the environment, and then the IGR dropped. 2 things. The IGR did not drop. In fact, the IGR rose significantly. And even if I cannot give you figures, I know that the Ministry of Environment was commended by the Board of Internal Revenue, for increase in revenue. So the IGR did not drop. But even if the IGR dropped, one wouldn't be a surprise, because one would not be surprised. One shouldn't be surprised, because part of the change I'm going to bring, and part of the change I brought in the Ministry of Environment, is that proliferation of taxes on citizens should be streamlined and must be streamlined. The Ministry of Environment is ought not to be a revenue generating ministry. It's really a policy ministry where you articulate policies with regards to the environment, where you interface with the Federal Ministry of Environment and other relevant international and national environmental agencies in order to domesticate national and international regulations with regards to environment. It ought not to be a revenue generating agency. When you praise the Ministry of Environment for generating revenue, you are actually encouraging the things that I consider obnoxious and the things that I fought mightily to stop. For instance, part of the revenue that accrues to the Ministry of Environment before I became the Commissioner of Environment, and which I fought vehemently to reduce, is this idea of what they call debris. Debris is that you in diaspora, or even non-diaspora people, are encouraged to come home and build, either build factories or build homes or build one facility or the other. Do you know that in Enugu State, once you lift a shovel or a hoe or anything to do a foundation, that the minister, that SWAMA descends on you? Are you there?
Yeah, we're hearing
Hello?
you.
Yes. The SWAMA descends on you to collect one form of tax or the other. And I try to control or direct or insist that SWAMA, which is the body mandated by law to collect waste, to receive and waste in Enugu State, should stop taxing people, because you are really disencouraging them from building. I try to let them know that debris starts when the person has done his foundation or built his house and he has refused to cover the places. There are multiplicity of taxes on even banks. There are banks that use generator, and this generator they use are not out of choice. They are compelled by national failure to produce regular electricity to use generators. Once they use these generators, the Ministry of Environment people pounce on them for emission of gas. So there are several ways. Most of them, even small shops that are thriving, Ministry of Environment goes to them to collect one form of tax or the other. Many of these taxes, I consider them unnecessary and duplicated. And throughout, when I was commissioner, I tried to make sure that those charges were curtailed or removed or abolished. I also made sure that there's transparency, because sometimes even touts just present themselves as Minister of Environmental people and go about collecting taxes from traders, from artisans, from shop owners under the other one development levy or the other. What I tried to do was not put my signature on any document, that my name and my phone number, on any document that leaves the ministry, so that people can now call back to verify. So the answer to the question is that the work of the Ministry of Environment is not to generate taxes. When they go out of their duties to generate taxes, it imposes unnecessary burden on the individuals, on the citizens of the state. So it did not drop. It did not drop. At the same time, I try to streamline what they do in order not to impose budget difficulties on people. The Commissioner for Environment, once you become a commissioner, you have a mandate that is given to you by the head of service. This mandate writes out what the function of the ministry is, or the commissioner is. There's a document which is available that states what the commissioner's work is regarding the environment and cleanliness. Waste evacuation, I repeat, is not one of the mandates that was assigned to the Ministry of Environment. Waste evacuation remains even now, even till tomorrow until laws are amended, the work of SWAMA. SWAMA is Enugu State Waste Management Authority. Authority means is independent, is autonomous, it reports directly to the office of the governor. So when I left PDP, I went to run that level. They sought to look for what to tie me with, and all they could come up with that the Commissioner for Environment could not dispense waste as and when necessary. And I replied on radio and on television, show me one single approval that has been given to any commissioner, even before me, with regards to waste disposal. So it's not my mandate. It's not the mandate of the Ministry of Environment. Waste disposal, cleanliness, otherwise is the mandate of the Ministry of SWAMA, Enugu State Waste Management Authority. A document in this regard exists, and it can be made public where necessary, or if I locate my own copy of that mandate. So the second question is on what is it you are bringing differently to the people of Enugu State? Everything, virtually everything, in all facets of life. Let me even start with the diaspora. The interface, the relationship with the diaspora in the current administration is abysmal. I will vigorously, it's true that there's a diaspora advisor, but what has he done with it? I will engage a seasoned well-exposed, well-traveled, well-read human being who has lived abroad, who has lived in Nigeria, who will be my interface, my advisor or my commissioner or whatever with regards to diaspora. He will engage diaspora fully. He will engage them actively. He will engage them honestly. He will find out what the diasporans need, what they need with regards to Enugu State. Is it land you need? Is it documentation you need? Is it approvals you need? Whatever diaspora need in order to come back fully to engage or participate or have their mind at home in any way they like will be fully addressed. Diaspora interests will be actively cultivated. The love of diaspora for our people will be actively found and cultivated. We will go out fully, interface with diaspora, engage them, inform them what they are doing, tell them how we need them to come in, and work properly with them in a meaningful relationship, symbiotic relationship. So I will also, additionally, aggressive inflow of foreign FDI, which everybody knows in Nigeria now. The diaspora is the main source of FDI, either in terms of cash or in terms of infrastructure or aids. So I will make sure that I cultivate diaspora in such a way that the inflow of aids and the FDI and other things, even the goodwill that diaspora can generate and focus on the Enugu State will be welcoming. I also create an environment that is welcoming to the business. If the diaspora is going to come and they bring their businesses, I'll create a conducive environment that replicates substantially what they have in the places they live. Is it America? Is it UK? Is it Malta? Anywhere that is with best standards are maintained. I'll try to see that best standards are maintained with regards to ease of doing business, ease of getting documentation, ease of getting land. All those things will become top priority in order to make the place welcoming and home to diaspora, to investment, to inflow. So those are the three things I can do differently just within the diaspora engagement. So that is what he said. What are you bringing different to the table? I have told you. So 3 things to do differently. They're also related. The first question from Chris Ago, the second question, they are related. 3 things to do differently. I will communicate. This governor has not communicated his vision. Automatically, the way I'm communicating it now, he reads speeches, written speeches, and they are bland. Those speeches are bland. They contain nothing meaningful, no quotable quotes. He doesn't apply his mind to the speeches he's reading. And even when I was in government, I tried to get him to create a speech writing unit, which existed when Wodo was governor, so that the speeches are properly researched, so that your speech, a governor's speech, addresses the past, addresses the present, and the future. So I will communicate my vision constantly by radio, by television, by Zoom, to my citizens, whether in diaspora, whether in Enugu State. If you cannot communicate your vision, what else are you doing as a leader? So I will speak to people, I will communicate, I will speak and communicate. Number 1, I will also, like I've told you, be transparent. I will be transparent in my dealings, especially with regard to monies that come from Abuja, monies that are generated internally. I will be transparent. I'll publish relevant expenditure, relevant income, as and when due, so that people are carried along. Quotation for contracts and whatever will be transparent. They will not be done in-house and allocated to cronies and shut it up. So best standards, international best standards on transparency and will actually govern all my activities as governor, so that I will not be afraid to expose my dealings to people. It will be on internet, on whatever it is, 24/7. We'll publish our budgets. We'll allow people to track what we are doing. Our budget will be realistic. Our budget will be realistic. It will tailor to the needs of the people, gathered through discussions, through interactions. Even as I'm interacting with you now, if I hear something that is meaningful, I write it down in my diary. I write the date. So when I become governor, those things they tell me, even as I'm campaigning now, they are going to become policy. Thank you for now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a very detailed response. According to our rule, is the way you raise your hand. And I see Dr. Obiora Eze. After Dr. Obiora Eze, then we have Honorable Chok Mbori. Then after Honorable Chijioke Edeoga, we have Dilichukwu Ononobo, my brother. So let's go with Dr. Eze. Please, let's make it brief because our special guest is ready to address a lot of questions. So if we make it brief, then he will be able to answer more questions. Go ahead, Dr. Eze.
And I will leave by 10 o'clock.
Okay, good. Unmute Dr. Eze. Obiora Eze. Dr. Eze, go ahead. The first page. You got it? It's still muted. Okay,
okay?
good. Go
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes. Ah, you're muted again. What happened? Okay.
Can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Honorable, and we appreciate your coming to listen to us in Diaspora.
Thank you.
I was in Nigeria. I was in Enugu. We all grew up in Enugu, and I was in Enugu with my family the whole of July. And we all know that Enugu State, Enugu in particular, Enugu City, is one of the oldest cities in Nigeria. Looking at it from that perspective, as a governor, you become a governor, what are the three most pressing problems facing Enugu State today? And how do you plan on addressing them, at least on the first 100 days when you're in office?
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you for the question. Honorable Chijioke Edeoga, let's hear from you. Chijioke Edeoga.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Make it brief.
Dog, I welcome. Yeah, Honorable Dog, I welcome you. Ihe nwere joge bụ if you have any win the governorship, kedu ka isi the plan ya ime local government called the functional. Functional mean by making sure that the local government na na-enweta all the allocations and those allocations na use here judiciously to develop all the local governments, because according to the Federation Account Allocation Committee, there is no local government in Enugu State that receives less than 100 million naira a month as an allocation. Now, in your own experience as somebody known at government before now, what happens that the local government money, and the Ebony winner, how are they going to get the whole money and make sure that their local government they use here judiciously to develop local government? Again, you talked about setting up a diaspora commissioner or whatever. To me, I think you have to go beyond that. To go beyond that, we have people who are experts, experts in different fields. How do you plan to incorporate them in your government to make sure that that's their expertise, experience into develop Enugu State in any way possible that they can? Because setting up a commissioner who will be working between diaspora and the government is not, to me, is not enough. You have to see how you can incorporate the diaspora into the government so that they will bring their best knowledge into things in each way develop Enugu State. So I am really good.
Yeah, thank you, Chijioke. Thank you. That's a good question. The next person, Dilichukwu.
Okay. Good evening.
Good
evening, Barrister Edeoga, and I'm so delighted to have you here tonight. I have 3 questions, and I'm just going to give it out. First, security. My background is forensic investigations and criminal intelligence. And I found out that almost every community in Enugu State are deeply soaked in drug and narcotics use. 80 to 90% of our youths, if whoever have Pashokada, now me drugs. And I've gone around in the course of several involvement in my relations campaigns. And one thing I notice is, even if you bring any developmental initiative, the people that are meant to drive it are these young people whose future the government intends to secure by giving them responsibility. But communities where drug abuse seems to have taken a high toll are most incapable of servicing anything, not to talk of helping themselves. So among what you're looking at, and you find these things also playing out in motor parks, where cults and all kinds of touts, in fact, because of that, and any functional transport system in most of our communities. So means of transportation, moving, most people, for instance, in my place, I'm from Afa. Sonny is my uncle, Mama Mbonyegede. Most people travel from Enugu 9th mile with motorcycle. And these are very unhealthy transportation systems, and it's plaguing the whole place. I just mean Kumaka political thugs. Built by my first question, how do you want to address, or my second question, how do you want to address political deity problem, political mentality in governance, or rather deity mentality? When people are in government, they all feast on public resources. And appointments probably are distributed based on political patronage, but you have a lot of social misfits, antisocial characters driving political initiatives and being appointed as political officers. And these are people who feed this insecure culture. The last question on my number 3 is the 9th Mile Industrial Hub. Now, some years back, Enugu was known for a lot of things. The cement factory, Nigerites, they were producing this as asbestos sheets. There was the 9th Mile, Coca-Cola and all that, which to me, they've been able to survive the harsh economic realities. But 9th Mile provides a vast land cutting across Uji, Eziago, that we could look at industrializing that place. It's a gateway to the north, and of course, our outlet to other states. Because a way of generating productive sectors, even our universities will be useless. Train people, they come out and they start looking for jobs. But in climate societies, people go to school to feed the needs of the country in their private and, of course, public sector. So what are you looking at? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I will go three questions. Questions from 3 people, more than 3 questions. So, Honorable, go ahead, you have the floor.
Okay, Kamido from Dilichukwu. Okurumaka, security. Security in Nigeria, part of the problem is the constitution that we have. And you they are aware that effort has been made to see whether we can rejig our constitution. Security is essentially on the exclusive list. So police, everything about security is on the exclusive list, which means it is something that is controlled almost entirely by the federal government. Even the people of the Southwest has tried to create a regional security apparatus. I don't remember the name now. But even to arm them, give them arms, meaningful arms that they can use to engage the headsmen. The federal government refuses to license them, give them authority and permission to import arms.
What happened?
Issue of security is not is something that the state government can speak about authoritatively, because even the commissioner of police and the police officers who work in your state, they come from outside. They come from outside your state. They are posted from outside your state. Sometimes they don't even, most times they don't even come from your state. Somebody from Katsina is the DPO in the commissioner of police in the Enugu state, and once the case advances points or issues, they are transferred outside the Enugu state to Abia or from Abia. So if we want to be serious about security, we have state police, local police, regional police, like you have in America, various layers of police. Until we have various layers of police, we cannot properly secure ourselves, because the centrally controlled Nigerian police cannot be everywhere in all the villages and nooks and crannies and adjust meaningfully to local realities. It also affects what we're talking about, drug use and narcotics. Drug use is under the remit of NDLE, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. No, the state governments cannot go after drug users, essentially, because the NDLE's work is NDLE work. NDLE is controlled from Abuja. NDLE doesn't have all the manpower to go into all the areas, into the nooks and crannies of the village where drug use is pervasive, where drug abuse is pervasive. So we need to educate our people more, so educate them, teach them, inform them to run away from drug abuse. We also have to intensify our efforts to create employment, because part of this thing at the younger level is peer pressure. So in that case, parents also fail. People are sent to school. The schools are no longer conducive. When the young boys go to school, they enter bad gangs, peer pressure, they become drug addicts gradually if their parents are not monitoring them. Then when they come out of school, unemployment, joblessness, loss of faith, loss of hope, those things are contributory factors to drug abuse. So we must address this lack of unemployment, underemployment, and no employment. And if we have to aggressively tackle drug abuse, we must also, as we're attacking demand, we're also attacking supply. Demand reduction, supply reduction. The borders are porous. The gates, the vehicles are not properly searched. The airports are porous. So drugs enter in here anyhow. They live here anyhow. The airports and the seaports and the borders are national security issues, and they're not properly protected. So drugs come in. So it's a multi-layered problem. I've tried to identify them. A governor cannot do much with regards to drug abuse substantially, because they are federal concerns according to the Constitution. But the governor can create employment in his own state to the best possible. So no functional transport system, it is true. They travel by motorcycles, it's true. People use motorcycles now because of unemployment, and the roads are bad. So you have to use motorcycles to navigate to where you are going fast enough. So I will try to address as many roads as is possible, vital roads. Even if you can't put laterite on them, you grade them so they become motorable, and the ease of transport, ease of movement of goods and material. 9th Mile Industrial Hub and the deindustrialization of Enugu State. It's not only Enugu State that's deindustrialized. The whole of Nigeria is deindustrialized. Factories are closing down because of no security. Light is not there. You don't have light 24/7. So the companies are relocating from Nigeria to Ghana, to Kenya. So it's not a state problem, it's a national problem. The policies are generalization because they are sectionally directed, sectionally influenced, and not patriotically organized or induced. So long as we don't have a country where we have common vision and common values, these things will continue. Because even if a place like Southeast begin to prosper with regards to industrialization, they can bring in negative politics from Abuja to make sure that these industries are crippled, like Obasanjo did in 1999 when he became president, and close all the ports in Port Harcourt, close Cross River, and ask that all ships should go back to Lagos. So these are deliberate acts of deindustrialization by the central government. So deindustrialization is not a state issue. There's not much. If Coca-Cola was here and they merged and moved away, what can you do? It's not a state concern. But the companies that state own, like Hotel Presidential or Avop, those things should be revived, or even revived and sold to private investors or PPP adopted. Because what you see in Enugu State in Nigeria is that public institutions are quickly run down and there's no punishment. So some sort of PPP, that is private partnership, should be encouraged. So, but we're also going to encourage agriculture as the first step to return to industrialization. More palm seedlings and palm trees, more poultry, more piggery, more fishery, more productivity with regards to especially agriculture, have all the advantages. So I will encourage people to self-sufficiency or self-autonomy. In that way, gradually the value chain of agriculture, be it palm trees, be it tomatoes, be it poultry or fishery or piggery, will help to increase agriculture. So I will focus substantially on agriculture, all the value chains of agriculture, to enable our people get involved again in more meaningful ways. So that is the Dilichukwu 9th mile. I'm now looking for the first question. Dr. Eze, three most pressing problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
three most pressing problems facing Enugu State, and how do you address them? I don't even know which one I know I'm pressing, because the devastation of the past 7 years, especially under Ifeanyi, are so frightening that I don't know which one is the most pressing. They're all interlinked. The educational system, especially at the primary school level, is in comatose. It is pressing because if you don't train those children meaningfully at the primary school level, how can they go to secondary school? How can they progress? So is it the roads? Okay, the roads are in very bad shape all over the state. So the roads are very bad. Healthcare system in rural areas are very bad. Primary school education is in comatose. So I think I will address, first of all, the issue of roads. I will declare an emergency on roads at many levels. The one that can be done immediately will take over. Even if there are rains, we'll do them. We'll grade them. We'll pour laterite on those areas. So there will be immediate. We'll address immediately. We'll address next to immediate level. Then in the future, we have to segregate them so that the roads that we have to address immediately, several roads at the same time, we're going to bring in bulldozers, level the places, pour laterites, grade them, level them, make them smooth enough for meaningful transportation or hindered transportation to go on immediately. Then thereafter, we choose the most important ones and begin to do laterite on them, do a more enduring work on them. Then we also expand outwardly. We are going to do healthcare, all the healthcare centers in all the wards in Enugu State. None is working. None looks good. So we are going to immediately begin to revive all the health centers by directing the council chairman to give a model health center, how it should be. Houses are already there. It's just that they are run down. They are dirty. Nurses don't go to work. So we are going to clear the environment, get them painted, put solar on their ceilings or their roofs again so that light will be there 24/7. Make sure that nurses and midwives go to work, restock them, engage pharmacists, people who sell drugs, even at the local government level, to have their shops around there. Engage lab technicians who come from that community so that they can have their offices in those small centers all over. So we'll make those places meaningful and relevant to the local communities to address first aid, snake bite, knife cut, childbirth. Those things should be addressed immediately. And we can make that happen only by insisting that the local government system should focus on those areas. We are going to reimagine completely the private school, the public school system. The public school system, primary schools have been destroyed in Enugu State. Go around all the communities, the handover to different faiths, be them Anglican and Catholic or Methodist, was not done properly. It's not supervised properly. So you have the different faiths, different churches.
Connection. It's having a connection problem. Let's be patient.
I guess so.
To cut him. I'm trying
to
cut him. I don't know, maybe he's in my compound. Let me just check. So we'll rebuild hope. Important. There's lack of hope in Enugu State now. There's despondency. There's despondency. Everywhere people are unhappy. People are not enthusiastic. People don't believe in government again. So we'll restore credibility. If a governor says he's going to do something, he must have done his background check to make sure that those things are doable and they're possible. So I restore credibility to governance. I will be outspoken, communicate with the people, to make sure, restore hope, restore faith. There's gloom in people's faces in Enugu State. I'll give them cause to cheer. I will engage with them. I'll chat with them. I'll sketch a vision of the future that is both positive and promising. And I'll tell them how I'm going to do it. So then I can't see the third one now. Let me just
okay, the third one is about the local government funds.
Local government system. So the problem with local government system is lack of functional local government system. How are you going to affect it? How do you make just lack of supervision and the discipline to remove your eyes from federal government allocation to local governments? When I was commissioner for local government, I gave them direction. I made sure that I supervise what they are doing. I made sure that I supervise what they are doing. I gave them direction in such a way that the arrears of salaries were cleared. It's regional here. So I make sure that the salaries of arrears of salaries for several years were cleared, and leave allowances were cleared. I also make sure that all the offices, all the local governments in the state, that they began to build centers for ID card. Before I became commissioner, there was no one single center in any local government where you can do national ID card. Before I left in 4 years, 10 of them were already existing out of 17 local governments. So you can go there to do a national ID card. I also make sure that local governments realize that part of their function was adult education. So we created four adult education centers in each LGA, the 17 LGAs, fully functional. And they were being paid. Staff were being paid, and so forth and so on. So the important thing is discipline. The commissioner or the governor must be a man who is disciplined enough from the monies council, who is disciplined enough to insist that those councils chairmen follow the guidelines. They should not divide their funds. For instance, when I was commissioner for local government, those chairmen could take security votes up to 5 million naira every month. I stopped it. 5 million naira security votes, which they don't account to anybody. I said no, I won't accept it. And I reduced it to 1.5 million naira every month. So those things are doable. So the answer is that you can make those councils responsive and responsible if you are disciplined, if you are austere, if you are focused, if you have somebody to direct them to what their duties are, and make sure that they are followed. So, and then once said functional LGAs, I've answered that, then go beyond diaspora. He said I should go beyond the diaspora commission. When I said that I'm going to meaningfully fully engage diaspora. If you use the word, you cannot begin to define those words completely in the way that he expects. So diaspora people, I said I will meaningfully engage the diaspora population. Meaningfully engagement has different positive aspects and implications. So I will do that. I think I've taken the 3 questions. If there's anyone I would like to tell me.
That's all right. Let's do another quick 3. We have Solomon and Yaboso and Victor Buluchi and Professor Jerry. Okay, Solomon, go ahead. Let's make it brief because time is running. Go ahead, Solomon.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah. What's in France? Another American, another based in France. But this type of program is one of the things that motivates me. Honorable, just a question can wait for you. Can the Here the 4 things that that motivate you to be the governor of Enugu State.
Okay. All right. Well, can I move on to the next person? Okay, as a 3 at a whole. Okay, the next person, Buburuchi, Honorable Victor Apple.
I didn't hear very well. What is that motivate me how?
I'll say the 4 things that motivate you to want to become the governor of Enugu State. What are the 4 motivating factors that you have?
Have I not answered them?
No. Okay, then when it's time, you can touch on it again.
Okay.
Okay, Victor, go ahead and throw your question.
Honorable, good evening. How are you?
Okay, my Victor.
That's because I doff off my heart for you to come to address us. I mean, that is one of the most important things that we look forward from a politician. I did look at your bio. It's impressive. It's all in government and civil service area. And I do see that you are also from the urban family, so you can't really run away from their failing government. I appreciate the fact that you appeared before us to answer some questions, even though some of them are not pleasant. My question are couple of things. Number 1, what is a government without security, no road, no water, no electricity? And you have been part of that government for a while. And also, you're looking for a job from us to hire you as our governor. And you said, hey, drug issue is a federal issue. We don't care what the governor's hand is tied. Police security is a federal issue. Your hand is tied. We're hiring you to break down all those issues. So how do we hope on you to break down this thing that is troubling? That's number 1. Number 2, if you can, by any chance, Biko, can you forward your the issue that you said, environmental eyesores, like what's going on in New Haven? It's not your area. I would like to see if Sonny, you can send it to Sonny to distribute it in terms of this environmental eyesores in New Haven. Okay, you say it's not part of environmental commissioner's issue. I would love to see that. All right. So number 3, Biko one name. How can I hope for you to change Enugu when you have been part of the government for a long time? And don't tell me I will do this. Give me a roadmap that helps me to understand. Biko, thank you so much. And thank you for appearing.
All right. All right. Thank you, Buruchi. Thank you, Victor. Professor Jerry, okay? Professor Jerry, you have the floor. Jerry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Miss Chief, the candidate. Please, I'll make my question. I'm not making a speech. I'm gonna just say something to you that I will hope, if God help you, if you're elected, maybe someday you're gonna remember what I will say now. That thing is, I'm sorry I'm gonna say that, is that you don't seem to have articulated the reason why you want to be governor of Enugu State. I'm sorry to say, you're sounding as if you're just like every other person. Some of us who behind a PhD dissertation, you have not started. So I'm very sorry to say this, so that you may not like me, but Cody behind at the back of your mind. I have not seen your manifesto, but you are reciting what all of us are reciting. And the one thing you say that I don't like is that this about security. Therefore, in my note, to me, therefore, the governors in Nigeria can just turn their back because nothing concerns them there. Finally, actually, why some of you ndị anọcha na-eme politics na Nigeria. You people na dia pụtacha n'obodo oyibo ma different kind of places. Ọ dịkwa na-agba unu n'uche sometime, assuming if a governor from America or British or whatever try to ibiakwanu visit unu, how do you people feel, you know, when they see the governors? So please, I'm going to stop there. Abiram email research and Nigeria one time. Uzon case 9th mile, but Zoom mado dorodia. I swear to God, if I'm saying this, to make I die. From exit to Nigerian University Hospital, the Ozu, another dead body, dorodia. Mana people na chikwe Enugu. So I wonder how you people, how do you feel? Thank you very much. That's what I want to say to you. You may remember it someday. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Jerry. Okay, and then we'll go 3 questions, a lot of questions from 3 people. So Honorable Obuni gave me briefly, because then we have 2 co-moderators here. And I can draw a question. So go ahead.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, you advise your questionnaires try not to put words in people's mouth.
Yes.
They should not try to. I didn't say that my hands is tied with regards to security. I didn't use that word. Okay. I didn't imply it.
Okay.
I didn't say my hands is tied with regards to drugs. I offer solutions. I said that NDLE, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, is responsible for drugs in Nigeria. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is responsible for drugs, for aspects of drug, prohibition, approval, arrest, prosecution. There's nothing the governor can do about NDLA work, because you don't even employ the NDLA who come to your state. You don't recruit them, you don't deploy them, and is singularly responsible for drugs. That drug abuse is a function of peer group. Homes, the homes are important, parents are important. I say so. I said that drug abuse is a function of unemployment and loss of hope and loss of faith. That I'm going to create jobs and employment to help to address those issues. That does not sound like my hand is tied, or if it's a national drug enforcement is the person doing to make the state better. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't say that my hands is tied with the class of security. I have given you the realistic position in Nigeria. I said in America, you have community police, even university police, local government police, county police, and state police, and FBI. In Nigeria, it's not the same thing. Nigeria, it is centrally controlled. Even the commissioner of police in Enugu State comes from Katsina State. The governor cannot do anything about it. The DPO in your village comes from Borno State. The governor cannot do anything about it. And the police is not enough to go around the villages. And the governors, I mentioned the governors, especially the Southwest, has tried to create regional police, but the federal government is frustrating them. That's also like someone who says his hand is tied. I'm giving you the constitutional situation in Nigeria with regards to security. And I said that the police is outnumbered because the Nigerian police cannot be in all the villages at the same time. And even police, that the federal government refuses, even the governors are called chief security officer in them, because you cannot control the commissioner of police in your state. I said that we have to work to amend the constitution so that security becomes a multi-level issue. Employment, with regards to other things that give life meaning, it will reduce these issues that create those things. So you can tackle them directly or indirectly. Even when you create local vigilantes, they work according to the approvals they get from local police. if you step out of your bound, they will disband you. You have situations where Nigerian police arrest vigilantes created by the state government. It's the legal situation, it's the constitution, it's the ground law. America operates by its constitution. So if somebody is telling you what the American constitution permits or does not permit, you tell the person that you shouldn't have used that, say that. So somebody said, the last person said, you don't seem to have articulated the reason for being governor. What have I been speaking for the past 1 hour? Is it the reason for being for diving into the ocean? You don't like what I said about security, but what do they expect me today except to tell you the situation and tell you the solution? You did not say what he does with concern. So I didn't use those words. I didn't say it does not concern me. I give you the reasons why they are so. If you have been so long in America, you don't understand the situation because you are so used to police that are diversified. He says, why do you come to America and people don't come to Nigeria? I don't understand that. I don't come to America. I don't like to travel. So some people like to travel for specific purposes or to have to brag about it. I live here in Nigeria and I will be working since all my life to address our home challenges at home to make it meaningful. The only time I've traveled abroad substantially is when I went to go to school. So I'm not enamored about going to America or going anywhere, even when I can afford to travel. So if you see corpses on the road, it's a challenge. The challenge of the failure of governance, because the removal of corpses is a local government law. Local government applies to local government. So the chairman of Woody or whatever he saw those corpses at that point in time is a person who has failed in his duty, because immediately that corpse is reported. It is the ambulances, and sometimes because of the nature of our country, if you act meaningfully and responsibly the way you are expected, you enter into problem. The police who do not even come from Igbo land will embarrass you, humiliate you, tell you, prove yourself that you didn't kill this man. So sometimes good people, because of the system, run away from doing good things. So the person who saw that come by impulse could have gone to remove them. But if you remove them, the police may arrest you to begin to ask you questions. So people just try to run away from problem. It's a Nigerian problem. It's not really a failure of the state government. Sometimes people, so you have to wait until the processes are followed. The police will come and see it and certify that he didn't kill the person before you, so that you don't run into trouble. Those are some of the reasons why you can see such a thing happen. Or maybe a hit and run, kill that man, hit and run, hit him, and run away. So it does not mean that the state is failing. It just means that Nigeria is a complicated place. It's a complicated place. So send me the documents on this or the if I find it, I'll send it. But it's available. You can Google it. You can check your internet with regards to the mandate of the Ministry of Environment in Enugu State. It's a public document. It's a tiny document of about 30 or 40 pages. It's very slim.
Actually, I can get a copy of that from the former Commissioner of Environment, Chief John Ebo.
Or even the head of service.
I will be able to get that, or even from the head of service.
If you photocopy it and show them that it does not, there's not one single line there that makes the Ministry of Environment responsible for waste evacuation. And even if you're a Minister of Environment and the governor knows that you're failing your duty, he will sack you, he should remove you. So now you are trying to make commissioner responsible for waste. But you say that Sullivan's administration did it. It is the governor that is responsible for those things if there's a failure of approval. Because if the environment is dirty and there's a commissioner of environment for a year or two, I was not even the first, I'm not the second, I'm the third, the governor will remove the person. So it's an administrative thing. But the point when they began to make it look like Ministry of Environment is immediately I resigned from government. Before then, nobody ever had thought that it was Ministry of Environment. It's ex-WAMA. Enugu State has ex-WAMA. Enugu State Waste Management Authority is constituted by law. Is responsible for waste evacuation. And it did so in the mandate. If I see the mandate, I can send it to the
I will get the mandate. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, can we
that motivate you?
Okay, can we chip
Four
in?
things that motivate me. Let me just answer the first one.
Okay, good.
You say 4 things that motivate me to ask the government. There's a definite sense that I can make a change in the lives of our people. A definite sense of that one must leave a legacy. We have a brief time to be in this world. And whatever it is we find ourselves to do, one will do it. And the office of the governor is the highest office in the land, executive power in this state, where you have the maximum power to affect the maximum number of people. And by training and by experience, training and cognitive experience and learning, and feel I'm more qualified. The most qualified out of the 4, there are 3 of us, or 4 of us who are running. One for Labour Party, PDP, is Mr. Peter Mba, who has served only as Chief of Staff and Commissioner for Finance for 2 or 3 years only. That's his entire record of public service. And out of that, he spent 10 years in imprisonment for diverting of billions of naira under Chief of Staff. The other one is Uche Nnaji. I don't even know his education. I'm not even sure his history. The other one is Meke, who was a minister for 2 or 3 years or thereabout. That's all. So in terms of cognitive experience, in terms of credibility, in terms of education, I'm far ahead of the other 3. So it's not a motivator, but it's an inducement, it's a further advantage I have over the people who are contesting. And out of these 4, out of these 3, you can say that I'm the last to enter the race because they had all declared their interest. And I looked at them and said, these are not even qualified to rule our state, more than myself, when it is already zoned to our zone. So I'm motivated by a combination of the knowledge that the personal belief in myself, that I have the experience and the training, because I've been in government. So I know all the gaps and the failures and how to improve on things. So I'm motivated by a sense that I can do better than we have witnessed in the past several years. I'm motivated by the fact that this is a short time we have in this world. I was given a full account of our stay here. And all my life I've been engaged in public service. The ultimate for public service in Enugu State is the governorship. And it is a zone to my zone. And I'm qualified more than any other person. And it's a motivation also. So a sense that I can do it better, a sense that it is the time for my zone, the sense that if not now, when? If not me, who? Out of the 4 that are running.
Yes, I like that. All right, thank you, Honorable. Let's take 3 more questions from James Ude, my namesake, and Dr. Mo, and Professor Ozoke. So let's take that 3, then I'll bring my co-moderator to ask our questions. Is James here?
I will leave by 5 minutes to 10. 5 minutes to 10.
Yeah. Is James here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, good evening, my barrister. My name is Chemist James Ude from Unsude. My question is, what do you think will be your challenges during the campaign? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. The next question will be Dr. Mo. Is there Dr. Mo here?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. All right. Take the floor.
Okay. Barrister Edeoga, congratulations on winning the Labour ticket. I'm not going to ask you questions about PDP, MOU. I will not even ask you about your time in Abuja. I'm not from Isuzu, your constituents. I will not even ask you about environment again. Many people have asked that. I think is a dead case as far as I'm concerned. I will only go back to your tenure as a local government chairman, local government commish. You know very well that our local government is not working. It's not working. I mean, you said a few things that you did, and what's it called? This money they take, with the governor, starting from the governor, they take security votes. That's not going to cut it. Somebody has been posting on our chat forum the amount of money that goes to every local government every month. If you take just 1/5 of that money, 20%, and give every town 2 million naira from 1999 to date. Every town in Enugu state will have what we call the basic amenities. So my question to you will be, what would be your plan for town government? It's very easy to accomplish. I know you hate abroad, like you said, but the fact is, I live town government. I'm living in a village in America. I'm from Kokam, by the way. So the fact is, if you give people the power to take care of themselves, they will do it. The first person to go to secondary school in my town was trained by the government, by the community. The first person that went to England and studied law, medicine, Dr. Ude, was by community effort. The schools, the hospital, the water, the electricity, even the schools, the primary schools, the churches, of course. We have 4 parishes in my town. They were all built by the people. Our people can solve this problem for themselves if you empower them. So, Biko, can you tell us what you do? And apart from that, can you get if somebody could, Jerry, I don't agree with Jerry most times, but he gave you a very good advice. You tend to tell us something that we ourselves will say. More aside in injecting yourself, your opinions. Peter Mbako, I don't speak him this time, but that's okay. The fact is, he says something I will disrupt the way things are now. So I want you in future interviews to please tell people, I will do this, I will do that. So Jerry gave you a good idea on what you should be saying. We don't want to be saying local government. Now, drug, NDLA, now security, police. Governors have enormous powers. You knew that. You know that. That's why you want the power. So tell us what you're going to do with it. So my brother, thank you for coming. I hope that one day I will meet you and we can talk a lot more. Advise you because you win and stay in the opposition. That's what is killing Enugu State. We don't have opposition. Nobody talks. Nobody makes you follow their leader. Because don't rush back to PDP the next minute if you don't do it. But if you do it, I hope that PDP will give you a rough time for your money. Congratulations, good luck, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Mo. All right, Professor Ozoke, you have the floor.
No, okay. Honorable Edeoga, thank you for coming. I'm going to show you something. I hope your camera is on. You see this?
Obedient.
Honorable Edeoga, do you see this?
I'm not seeing it. Yeah.
Obedient.
Okay, from here. Thank you.
Obedient.
Right. Thank you. Now, the reason I thought you should see that was because I wanted you to know that I'm partisan. And I'm partisan, I'm biased towards Labour Party, which is the party which the ticket you have and you're running on. Now, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. And I want you to know that nobody has come here with bad intentions. Jerry gave you very perfect advice. Mo has followed up on it. The reason we have joined Labour is because we want to change the way things are in Nigeria. If I were to ask you a question, my first question would be, at what point did you make your decision to run for governor? Was it something that happened because people joined the Labour Party, or was it something you had been nurturing the ambition for? Because the problem we have in Nigeria, but this fire brigade approach, an opportunity comes, everybody jumps on it, and they are not prepared. To be honest with you, you have not inspired me. You've been sounding defensive. A group of people now, you may have the best of intentions. You may be the best governor Enugu State has ever had. But right now, you have to, first of all, win the election before you do all those things. Right now, you're not inspiring me. You've been sounding defensive. And you're ready to fight. That's not how you do these things. You need to be calm. Forget these things. I like it. Amazing date or anom Enugu na Royal Palace Hotel, Nabani Road. Them event there. I was there. You were there. I came. Back. I'm not if you get, we want you to succeed. We want you to win. I want you to win. I contributed. I paid money. But right now you are not inspiring me. And what I want you to do, and I'm saying this with the best of intentions for you, go back and do your homework. This level of, you got work for you, maybe na Nigeria, abroad, abroad a member the governor, that might be the reason you will win. But I'm not this country. If you come to a debate with this attitude of being defensive and attacking people who look at question, my brother, it's not going to work. I want you to go back and do your homework, and I want you to win. And I will do whatever I need to do to make sure you win. I will campaign for you. Believe me when I say that. I will campaign for you, but you have to go back and do your homework. Now, what is your governing philosophy? You pick your labor ticket. Yes, labor ticket. How long have you been an activist? Labor Party abroad, just anybody can come into it. No, labor means you have been fighting your entire life for the working class. What is your pedigree when it comes to fighting for the working class, the middle class? I don't think you've laid it out. Peter Obi is moving and shaking things the way he's doing it because Peter Obi has totally disrupted the system. Peter Obi is for the common people. This whole time, he has come out and said that has to stop, and on well a track record to prove it. He can show receipt. So what I want you to do, and I say it with the best of intentions, go back and do your homework. If you need me to help you, contact me. We have to prepare you because upon a debate. Look, my friend, I've listened to Peter Mba. He's very articulate. When debate, that guy is going to floor you. If you come into that debate being unprepared as you are in this forum, okay, I have a problem. The reason I'm a member of Labour Party and I want you to win. Because look at Enugu, Enugu that used to be the poster image of an Igbo. It hurts. You see here?
Okay, and then we'll go 3 questions. Honorable, any comments, then can you want Josie and Kanye?
Let me, of course, I'll reply to what he has said. If I come through as if I'm attacking any person, I'm sorry about that. But what I did was to reply to the questions that were asked. Yes. And what appears to be annoying is that I repeat that security is a national problem. Security and drugs. The way Nigeria is configured now, there's pretty little a governor can do directly with regards to security. You may not like it, but that's the truth. I didn't write the constitution. The constitution of Nigeria invests security exclusively for the federal government. I didn't create it. And I'm not sure I've abused anybody here or used the wrong word on somebody, but I insist that security is not a security governor's problem. I'm not yet the governor. So I can just pretend that it's the governor's problem to make people feel good. But that's not by nature. It's not the governor's problem. The Nigerian constitution invests it on the federal government. To the extent that they can send away your BPO, the recruit in your ministry, the policeman in the government house can be redeployed to Abuja without the governor doing anything about it. And I say that we have to rework the system in such a way that there's multi-level policing. So what is being defensive about that? Except that maybe you want to be talking down and I'm listening and nodding. Somebody says he's going to disrupt the nature of things. Is that a manifesto? What did he disrupt when he stayed for 4 years in government and stole millions? He's not going to disrupt anything. We have know what he's going to disrupt. So let us not think about people who come and arrange statements in such a way they are appealing. That's not true. I can hold myself anywhere I would debate, as far as debate is concerned. I'm not going to be intimidated not to hold my own. I can hold my own with debate. I also follow American presidents and their campaigns and their TV debates. So those things are wrapped out in very simple terms to appeal to people who have to appeal. But they're not the solution. They're not what I want to talk about. It's a frank discussion between people who I believe are also quite enlightened. So I'm not sounding defensive. I'm responding to the questions that were asked. What is my pedigree? I've been a journalist all my life. And I won awards. It's there in my CV. I've been a journalist all my life. Journalism is about criticism of government. And I was elected like a local government chairman, elected in the House of Reps, made a presidential assistant. And through all my years in service, I have not been found wanting. I've not been found corrupt. And I said it on television and on radio. If you have one single evidence of corruption in my life, in my working life, publish it. So I also have character and have credibility. I didn't run because of Peter Obi. Before I've entered politics since 1990, I campaigned for Joe Mo to become governor. I was press secretary in government house. So I've been in politics even before Peter Obi became governor. I was already elected chairman of Enugu, and I performed very well in 14 months. I did magic in 14 months. I went to the House of Reps. I was the spokesman for National Assembly. I started the office of the spokesman for National Assembly. Before me, there was nothing like that. After me, every other person wanted to become the spokesman for National Assembly, like EdeogaZoomEdeoga, like Ekwuremadu, like Igwesi. All of them wanted to be like Edeoga. Obasanjo was angry and frustrated because of my attacks on his government and insisted that I must not go to the National Assembly. So I practiced journalism to the height of journalism. Even as I am now, I'm on the editorial board of the Daily Trust, the most influential paper in Nigeria. So I started from reporter to writer to editor. So now currently I'm on the editorial board of Daily Trust. So I have character and have credibility, and I have never stolen public funds in my life. So I didn't enter labor because of Peter Obi. Peter Obi actually called me to beg me to run in the labor, and I refused. I refused. Even in PDP, I was the candidate to beat until they began to share 400 million per 3 days, and I was ironed out. And immediately I was ironed out, the capital of PDP collapsed in Enugu State. The morale of Enugu State rose when I went to Labour Party. All that will not happen if I don't know my onions. If I don't have my onions. I don't have my onions, but I cannot come if I'm talking with enlightened people and begin to give you million amounts, say, I'm going to disrupt the system. I say, Peter Mba, what does he know about that? What is disruption? What is possible about disruption? So if we're engaging ourselves like intelligent people, then we should be free to must not conform to expectations of what I have to say to win your applause. I will tell you how I feel. And I'm going to win the governor. Somebody said, okay, if you don't win, I'm going to win. I'm running to win. So there's no question of if I don't win, don't go back to PDP. That is neither here nor there. I'm running to win. I'm running to win the election, and I will win. And you'll be happy with me and proud of me because I have a track record of performance, a track record of credibility and competence in everything I have done. From council chairman, House of Reps, commissioner for 7 years. I was reappointed. If I was a failure, I would be reappointed. I'd be in a position. Even the president lobbied me to go and work for him. So I didn't go. Before Peter Obi became governor of Enugu State, and I have been in politics before. Long before him. And when I left PDP, 15 days that I made up my mind to run. Because of pressure pressure from people. Hundreds of people all over the world were calling me that I should take of the gauntlet. And PDP know them. The major challenge is violence against order. Even this evening, a car has 2 vehicles belong to Lagos in the West North. Ozi. Our campaign was attacked. People were marched and vehicles gone. That is the Labour Party campaigns are built. People were macheted. Canopies were of the PDP government to become democratic, to face the Enugu state people with their records. Let them let them campaign on their records, but they're instigating violence and people are being killed. So everybody who is here on this platform who has international reach or should call the governor and that he should bring his agents to stop killing our people, because that's not democracy. They want to muzzle us out. They want to kill us. They want to intimidate us. They are denying us use of fields for our campaigns. Now they're also killing people, burning vehicles, burning houses. If you have reached to the governor, to any of his cronies, call them to order, because we're not going to fold our arms. We're going to report.
Right, Honorable. Yeah, Honorable, that, I will call the governor and I will speak to him.
I'm going to write and we're going to shout.
We'll do that. We'll do that. Can I put in the last question?
Let's see, Commissioner, it is not working. It's true. No, say something on local government system. Do I go ahead? Local government, just briefly. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, actually the co-moderator, Professor Zoke, has asked a question or made a comment. Dr. Mrs. Amaka Odo has asked questions. I'm going to ask, my question is not going to be too complex, but this little story, I'm sure everybody will remember it. Amalinze was the greatest wrestler who for 7 years was unbeaten. From Umuofia to Mbano, he was called a cat because his back will never touch the earth. It was this man that Okonkwo threw in a fight, which the old men agreed was one of the fiercest fights since the founding of the town, engaged the spirit of the wild for 7 days and 7 nights. I believe everybody knows where this story is coming from. In Enugu State today, unlike in 2011, unlike in 2014, unlike in 2019, 2023 is going to be similar to the fierce wrestling battle between Amalinze and Okonkwo. So my question to you is, if you go into your battle, you put in everything. My question is very simple. Are you going to be open to a debate with the rest of the 4 candidates?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Can I proceed to do a closing remark?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, good. I want to thank everybody that helped out. My coordinator in Nigeria for Nigerian American Democracy Institute, my daughter Nena that did the introduction and also did all the graphics that we used. My co-moderator, Professor Vitus Ozoke, who you have gained as a serious labor supporter. Yeah. And Dr. Mrs. Amaka Odo, a very handy and helpful, who crafted a poster that we put out today that we will use to invite the other candidates. In this forum, we keep it as non-partisan. We want to deepen democracy by causing interaction between those seeking for offices and those that are electing them. Even though that we are not going to vote here, from diaspora, we can influence people to vote. And I appreciate you coming. A lot of candidates that we have approached earlier did not. You came and you were here. So one person called me and said, there is only 28 people. How can I want him to come? I said, we have 28 quality people. If you take a look at the list of the people here, they are quality. And your engagement, I'm sure you learn something. Leadership is about interaction. Leadership is not science, it's not art, it's both. But the more you interact, the more you communicate, you will be able to learn something every day. I'm sure everybody here learned something today. We teachers, we continue to learn. We're not afraid to learn. Leaders should not be afraid to learn. You learn and you apply it. The bottom line is that you will decide whether you will be Okonkwo or you will be Amalinze in this fight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. God bless you.
Yes, we will be reaching out. Yeah, we'll be reaching out too. Thank you.
Prof, just to say to the candidate, if he needs input into his political program, some of us will be glad to help. I don't care where the person comes from. I don't believe in zoning. I believe in merit. And I want to thank you. If we can have that for my grandchildren, then we've achieved something in our time. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, sure. I will be glad to have your input through moderator or through.
You get a day, Joe. Congratulations.
I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Thank God.
So I have a different question for you, please.
Go ahead.
My nephew is soon going to graduate from medical school. So my question is, your daughter, is she still single?
Stop now. Stop now.
It's important to me.
Don't do that.
It's important to me.
Do that.
Oh my God.
Do not do that, please.
She's actually getting ready to get to medical.
Don't do that at all.
It's important to me.
It is not acceptable at all.
No.
In this age, it's not.
No.
Our place in California will launch
James, your namesake is single too.
Your guy should send his resume. Let's look at it.
Because thank you to Professor Edeoga for his appearance and taking time to address us. He has guts. I appreciate you. Don't take it personal. Learn from it.
He did well.
He's a big boy. He should know. He knows. Come on.
Oh, he's a big. I'm glad.
Come on, man. And
he came and he saw. Yes. So we hope to bring more candidates. So if anybody has link, Professor Jerry Chukwu, we need Honorable Frank Nweke on this hot seat. You guys have made the hot seat.
I'll get him in. When do you want him? I'll get him in. When do you want him?
As soon as possible. As soon as
I'm gonna get hold of him tonight.
Pray. In fact, we love this man. We love this man that came. I really respect him.
I know.
Edeoga.
He did well.
We all love that you came.
He did well.
Because we never had this opportunity to.
He's gone already. He's no more on the forum.
No, the fact is this.
He is on the forum. He's on
This is recorded.
He's on the forum.
One thing is curious.
Please,
for his experiences and for his job, for everything Omego, especially for someone in the media, for him to be not this well known is troubling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we have to learn from it. This guy has done so much, went through local, national legislature, to the presidency, back to the state, and in the media. He should be up there in terms of publicity.
No, he is though. He is. He's
No,
known.
that is nature. It's a kind of quiet.
His nature is calm.
His
calm.
nature is
He's
calm.
known.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta make noise.
Hello?
You know, you gotta make noise.
I guess that's what he's doing now.
Professor Jerry.
He's doing now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Victor Apple, I'm waiting for a candidate. I have one question already.
Do you have a
very nice question? Very nice.
He's not your brother.
Yeah.
He's not your brother. He's your brother.
No.
I
come with peace, so I came in peace. I come in peace.
Sonny, if I may come in, this is Ojibe.
No, I'm saying
okay,
he's your brother.
Biko, let me just summarize this. Biko,
introduce. Before I made this thing,
on the way to New York.
Since here conference here, I never spoke to Edeoga. I did not hear his voice. I only sent a WhatsApp and say, name time, exact time. Ojibe is the one that talks to him. So Ojibe, take the floor. He did the magic.
I say thank you to everyone, to every one of you. Believe me, one of the reasons Njuedi so fanatical about Edeoga, I've been opportune to meet him. He's a quiet person. Sometimes, present here. But I've seen the intelligent ways he approach here, even when we talk about security. They speak on his behalf. He can defend himself. But when somebody knows the quality of education, you know what education can do to a whole lot of things. On the state level, the ones we can take care of. When we take care of the education on our state level, which he does, he talks about and he knows, that's his pedigree. We are getting there. But more than anything, I thank everybody because this is an opportunity for him, he learned. And we will surely get back to everybody. One thing, unlike in Heninabu, to condemn anything.
No.
We are here because we want Labour to win. We want a change in Nigeria. And this is it's about generations to come. It's about the future. So I thank everybody, and more than anything, to Barrister Edeoga that has made his time available. Please, can we get excuse Goya? He has a 10 o'clock meeting. He can go on and excuse himself, and how we can come together. What I ask of everybody, let us come together and articulate how we can do something about it.
Can I ask you a question? Thank you. Can I ask you a question? Because if you both should allow me. Yeah, I asked him my question. About the three questions, the most pressing things in Enugu. Looking at Enugu as one of the oldest cities, capital states in Nigeria.
You're right.
He just does around the whole thing. Now, MME expect equal something like water. Security. Water. Water in Enugu,
Yes.
He never said anything about it.
The candidate is still here.
Let me say something.
Hold on. Let me finish. When you come to security, I understand all the federal government, security, but there are villages where vigilantes are doing wonderful jobs.
Yes.
So why can't he engage them? Right. Why can't he engage them? And then vote every month, millions of naira, just a portion of it. After all, all these village chiefs, and every month. Okay, go there. Tell them to organize in every village.
Exactly the point.
So all these things are call. You have to wait for the federal government. No.
Thank you, Dr.
If you are named, I can name towns. Ogaboje now. People never work for vigilante, and people go home and sleep in their village without fear. They find a GD
Everything you're saying. Not to
hello, Prof.
So he didn't address that issue at all.
Hello. Edeoga is still here.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I told you guys. I got released.
No. Let's hear him. Professor
Edeoga is still here.
Let's
Yes.
talk about
Okay,
let's talk. I want to
Honorable,
let's talk.
am I still on the seat or not? Victor,
Let's talk.
Water problem. Water
Derek,
it's
time won't get
I'll see here. Okay, you listen to what I said.
I just want to say something.
No,
I just want to
allow him, please.
Yes, I'm going to allow him. I couldn't put him at the seat. Let me address here.
Water. Let me address two issues. Water. Hello?
Emeka, he's talking. He's talking. Allow him.
He's talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Water.
Allow him.
Water. Two issues. Water and vigilante. Water.
Yes.
Even in the school, that's the executive council. Even in the course of my interview, I have said that the water challenge problem in Enugu State is because Enugu State is still like Enugu State is agile. Agile is still as it was built by the colonialists, white people. I say it is wrong. I said that I'm going to diversify the water supply system in Enugu State. We'll have one single one. I'll create multiple channels of water availability in Enugu State. For instance, there are several rivers in Enugu. There's a Don River, there's a Kulu River. There are several rivers in Enugu. What I'm going to do is to create water treatment plants around those rivers and take water from there and pipe them to nearby communities in such a way that they are diversified and distributed. The white men did it when I was growing up, as early as 1971, 72. He harmful has water supply by capturing the water at a small building near the river, treated it there and piped it to the big station, a big tank overhead, where it was sent to the entire railway station and for the surrounding communities. I suggested it to a school, the executive council, where is presiding or was presiding, and somebody told me the army in Enugu has done the same thing. Army in Enugu has taken water from a Kulu River water system. So to treat Enugu water is not a problem. I'll leave Agile alone and create multiple sources of water so that Trans-Ekulu is treated differently, Achela is differently, Independence is differently, and other suburbs. They also plenty of underground water in Enugu. These things can be harvested and treated, and people go there and buy their water free of charge. I know about rural vigilante. I'm not oblivious of them. I have worked with them. They are good up to a point. The problem with vigilantes in the villages, for those who are glorifying them, is that Mr. A is related to Mr. B, Mr. B is related to Mr. C. They are not effectively fighting corruption in the village. Because if you ask them to arrest somebody in their village, usually they don't arrest them. They don't, because they are even complicit in allowing people to escape, criminals, drug addicts, all what's lost. Because the local vigilante is that too much at a local level. They are complicit in people not doing what they ought to do. So yeah, we can amend vigilante directly from Enugu State, where they have permanent job, a service commission that oversees village vigilante in such a way that if
you're breaking up.
Connection.
Honorable. Always some PGs, they're very active in these villages. Huh? Some of the PGs are very active.
If you want to arrest,
so you can walk through the PGs.
Either you do it from the police, from the divisional headquarters, or from Enugu. So there are no vigilante. I know they're asked to me directly. It doesn't mean that you don't know the other one. But if you have a vigilante, I can tell you that how to make it better.
You know, I don't think he didn't hear what I said. It's just a suggestion anyway.
Well,
Prof, it's just a suggestion.
Prof, I think my appeal, Bo, you know, I've been involved in the security back-end services of this country for a reasonable time. I need somebody that can listen. Politicians come with this notion that they have it all fixed out. Now, but he had in a paper, can on ground. Yeah. So that silence and anybody got choice solve problem security. I don't want to say Nigeria, because if we deal with the nucleus problems, it will migrate and then mutate to something bigger. We need the structures of the town unions. We need the youth association. They must take ownership. When we give them a sense and without dangling money, because the reward system is perverted, people often lose their focus. The vigilantes, for instance, they don't even care if you are carrying issue in a motor. Yeah, so it is the system. And one of the people take care responsibility and where prospects. Why America works is that the social security system makes everybody at par. So you don't need to be a big man to eat food. And you don't need to beg anybody for food. If you have anything you are doing, you can drive any car and pay in 25 years. So that way you won't steal to buy a car. So there were little things that we can look at. The social security aspect is one. The economic security is one. The political security comes in dimensions. And where a good think tank team that helps the government. Any the people, the projective, so that and where a 10, 15, 20 years strategy plan for security. Security doesn't just happen, it's built. Yeah. And then when Hana people, they committed to make it happen. They grow leadership across board so that people take over where they stopped at each point. So that is what is killing us.
You're saying the right thing.
That kind of structure. Because we'll be able to, we grow, we don't need to wait for Nigeria. Yes. Because people are not interested. How they read for taboo. Now it has, and it isn't those shares. Then you had chieftaincy title. So these are little things we need to begin to look at. How do we eliminate to discourage making stealing an honorable business, include kidnapping, and I went another that kind of synergy. If that even the migrant criminals like the Fulanis and all that, will not fit in when they come in.
They know them. They'll single them out.
People from outside Enugu, some from outside some communities, Ebonyi and other places. They are there perpetuating crime. But all the system, and then in the chief, the strategic. So you can't plan security by
without the chief.
Yes, or in a quote. Nigeria doesn't have police. What we have are auctioneers. If we police station, nigga go pen, go paper. If the we release a police station.
brother.
We need to build what can protect us, and we have the capacity. But he needs to talk to the right people.
Yeah, yes, because that's the same thing I'm saying. Because some excuses are there. If, like you said, anyway, chiefs, Monday our autonomous community chiefs, then if we town union, and we president general of every town. When town so now work, we go to that structure now work, and then thereby now contribute, and we're not sustaining. All the very simple, all the recognition from the governor. Only getting a little money to supplement. You don't need the police. Anytime when you're in a village, they know.
Doc, let me help you. What of a situation where the Igwe of a community is imposed on the community without any consultation, and they with only Shina's many Igwe community, and you expect them to have peace?
When you have a PG,
hold on, and we 15 local government, 15 communities in Enugu state, where 10 million average we are taking, and we are giving autonomous community not through any commission, and they were charged $9 to $10 million, 10 million naira to buy that. community is not aware, those communities are in disarray. And one of those communities is mine. So what do you do there?
What do you do there? Unawara Community Union, Unawara Town Union.
No, it's a political thing,
Professor
sir. No political, no community
Professor Sonny,
union.
Professor Sonny, please. I think we release honorably. We release the
okay.
Then I'm going to
thank you. Can I go now? Can I go now?
He loves our company, so we should leave it.
Sonny, I need to say something, please. Sonny, I need to say something, please. Sonny.
No, you can't. Honorable. Appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate. Thank you.
Good night. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Because the chairman of ABGA in Enugu State has committed that the Honorable Mweke will be with us 7 p.m. this coming Sunday.
Whoa!
But he needs us to send a link. Send the link to me. I'll forward it to him so that he can himself.
No problem.
The chairman has committed that he'll be with us next week, Sunday.
Then we will also do something that we didn't do here. Crisis. People came in. A lot of all these Yahoo boys came in, and they were posting a lot of stuff here. My daughter not here and clean. It would have been a mess. So the next year, Anyama published the link like we did now this one. You got to go. I did 28 here, but then were quality discussion. 28 quality discussion and interaction. If we're a candidate, no fail self. So we will anyway, we will filter it for the next time so that I think Anya, the will not. We won't have to.
He felt at home. He felt at home. The candidate felt at home.
That's good.
And a lot of people did not come in because of that, because my daughter had to lock it up. Exactly. So we'll find a way to do that. I'm glad this is a very good information, and we have to continue doing this. And if we know Honorable Edeoga Ekutego na Oga debate. When we get from Nweke, we get from Naji, then we get from Mba. Then we will, if they want Zoom debate, if they don't want, we're going to arrange one in Dome in Enugu for them, and they'll have it debate. So we are making progress. So we have to keep up. Thank you.
Okay. So the link will send directly to people's number?
Twitter or Facebook. If you post this in the weekly Zoom conference Saturdays, but I them just mess up everybody. Okay.
They almost did though.
Yeah. So it is near Twitter on Facebook. Don't put it there again. And these are all robots. They pick it up from there and they come in. But he said they can do WhatsApp forums and emails. You don't have problems.
We'll do that.
Okay. I raised my hand. Please, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Engineer Chijioke Edeoga. I'm actually from Egede in the local government. Yes. Thank you, Prof, for holding the fort, for holding this meeting together. It's not an easy job you just did, you and your daughter. So, what is the way forward? As in, do we have any plan to sustain this engagement beyond this weekly, beyond these Sunday meetings? So, I'm suggesting a plan that we a WhatsApp forum be created to continue the engagement. You understand? We have like 20-something members here, so we can create a WhatsApp forum that such engagements continue beyond the Sunday meeting. So as we anticipate the ABGA candidates, we can discuss better ways to engage him further via that WhatsApp forum before the D-Day comes. So that's just my simple suggestion. Thank you very much.
No, that's a very good idea. We will do that. Actually, we have Nigerian American group. But what we will do is from before we started, we said that we're going to keep the same standard. Whatever we do here, we will also do for Nweke, we will also do for Nigeria, and we will also do for Mba. And those are the things we did, which is no pre-question. Anybody raise your hand, you answer question. Raise your hand, you ask question. Candidate will answer, you know. And you find out that our guests got into it and stayed even longer. So hopefully Nweke will also do that. And before they leave, I will always ask them, are you going to give out commitment for a debate? If we get yes, then the third one we get yes, the fourth one we get yes, then we will now move to live debate. This organization is going to organize the debate and we have it in Enugu live. After that, then everybody will be able to make up their mind, because all these things is iron touching iron. The iron becomes sharper. That's exactly. Leaders that do not engage are not good leaders. Every good leader will always come out to engage. And I commend Honorable Edeoga for coming here. You know, it's like at a point it was like a firing line, but that's okay. You know, he's a big boy. You know, a journalist. So that's all we need. Problem with most politicians in Nigeria is that they're worried about diaspora, because diaspora don't, you know, I had a name something. Nigeria. So that's why they're scared of diaspora. But with this opening anyway now, we have to follow it through. Let others come. Let's make them more comfortable. Fine, but we will still ask the tough questions. You know, because those questions is what will get the commitment we need. And that will make us understand that you're thinking. A leader that does not think, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, since Chimaroke and Namani, no governor in Enugu was thinking. Some people may disagree with it, but that's my opinion. You know, think about what you will do. If you think, plan, then when you get there, you do it. And the best way to think is tell us what you think, we ask you questions. Just like Edeoga presented some of the things that are not palatable to some of us, and it was taken to the mat, which is good. And that's what the interaction is for. It's not like we are not here to sing Ijebebi. No, nobody That's Abalenze. The reign of Abalenze is at the brink. So Konkwo can step in and defeat Abalenze. That's how I look at the Enugu politics. So also in Nigeria with Peter Obi. So I commend everybody. We're going to continue this. We're not going to give up.
Well, actually, some of our candidates might also require some sort of therapy, because onion a team problem. No, this well, you know, from my professional point of understanding, and when people, when you see the symptoms, Nonya cannot take in pressure. He cannot accommodate ideas. That is disaster in the making. We must do post-mortem. Even though it's not
the briefing,
the short, but on Adam, you know, because obviously, my professional assessment of Edeoga is that he needs to work more on his personality and self-esteem. An insecure man can never secure someone else. And if there are ways we can help these people before, because you know, so if we can't help them, I hope what the danger. We might be the first victims. So I'm just raising a red flag. So that all the we have these people in their safe zone. They come out as they are. But there are serious psycho conditions with him that professionals probably in his inner chamber may need to help him. He's not teachable and he's not ready to learn. He has learned this script over 20-something years of being in civil service. Changing him will be difficult. Thank you.
No, we'll look into that. That is true.
Okay. Oh, well.
So are we going to be getting the link?
The link for
the recording.
Next meeting. Yes, the next meeting.
I can link and also this meeting they recorded. So I will find a way to break it up so that people can have access to it. We have to go. I'll go through the charts. Respond to it, package the questions and send to Edeoga, see if it will respond. Because a lot of questions are in the chat area, which we couldn't get to. So we do some of those house cleaning. By Monday, we will have a link for Nweke.
Okay.
And take it from there.
All right.
I hope you will send it on Facebook and Twitter again.
It will be more
My
effective.
my worry is that some of us are here for the first time, and I saw it via a WhatsApp group. So
Yes.
I don't know if the link going from what happened today, if it's not shared public, we may not be in the right point to get them. My name is Collins Mama. I'm from Igwetiti, or Hodo to be precise, and I live in Abuja. So, and the person who spoke earlier asked the question of how we'll get the link. If it will be out on Monday and we have no guarantee of how we're going to get it, we may not be able to follow up the event.
To participate, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What we will do, if we get the link, we may have to get confirmation to who will come. Because some of those boys that cause trouble, I don't know if they're girls, we can pinpoint their names. So all my daughter was doing is looking at their name and removing them. And the moment we did that, and when you remove them, they can't come back. But we don't want to go through that again. So between now and tomorrow, I will devise a way whereby we will get the people we need, the quality people we need to host.
Yes, can I say something? Can I say something on that?
Go ahead.
So part of it is that part of those ways you can devise before you register, before you come on board on the meeting. I advise all candidates type in their full names.
Okay. Yes.
Type in their full name, because if you recognize the name, you will know that yes, this person is for us, or this person is against us. So don't situation where I type Chukwemeka's iPad, it is not a name that is easily recognizable. So your first name and your surname, I think that will be okay.
Yeah, change your name before you come in.
If you scan through a participant's name, you can filter the unscrupulous agents. So that would be a very good way.
You have not answered Mama's question. If you can share your this, he's not in any forum. He's in Abuja. He wants to come in. So the fact is, you may have to share a forum or a number or something, even email, from where he can give you his contact and you can contact him directly. And this is one person you are sure wants to come, and he's here today.
Okay.
One more thing.
I want to suggest. Just send there your number and message.
One more thing, fellows and ladies. One more thing, please. My apologies for bringing in that question I asked for. I thought the meeting was already over. So you guys, please forgive me for throwing that in.
No, it's okay.
No,
it's okay.
It's not over until it's over.
It's not over.
We just
redirected you.
It's going to be on the rear.
That's what we're saying.
My mouth. That's what we're saying. I was running my mouth. I didn't know that the man cannot there. That's not how I address my question. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Good night. Prof. It was a very interesting engagement.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
I'll be in touch.
Okay,
bye.
Good night, all.
Yes. Okay, wait.